Hey there and welcome to the Synth channel. Today we talk about a live guitar setup that is affordable. The guitar is maybe not so affordable, I gotta be honest. However, the band member of Anarchy for the World is showing us his live setup for playing on the street. And we're gonna plug it all together. It is an affordable mixer by Marca with 5 channels, a stereo mixer, the Novation Circuit Tracks by Novation, which is a MIDI controller plus basically a sampler where you can build your own drum tracks, you can build your own synth tracks, bass tracks, and then play to it live. We also talk about the features it has and the effects and how you can route it. There's lots of information coming up in this video, and you can learn how to connect it all together and run it into a mixer to have the perfect stereo signal. Not perfect, because my mixer only receives a mono signal in that case, but we tried our best. And also we feature the Plethora 5X, which is 5-in-1 pedals. And all of this we run into his guitar, which is an amazing Fender Coronado 2 guitar, a red one, amazing hollow body guitar. I also had the honor to play with this guitar and it was fantastic, absolutely amazing. Looking forward to getting a guitar like this at some point in my life. However, let's dive right into it, how we set it all up, and afterwards lots of music, lots of background music for you while you are working, while you are doing your things. And then we talk a little bit about our influences, about David Bowie, about the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the guitarists that played on it. And so let's dive right into it. Okay. So we're trying also some kind of synth guitar with this one today?
Yeah, just like guitar playing with the track. I tend to make some kind of backing track or something, and then play with guitar on it.
Okay, I'm looking forward, because this setup is way different than what I normally, work with.
What comes next? We have the stereo output from here.
What is this called?
This is multi-effects.
This is called
Moa Prime.
Moa Prime. Do you know when it came out?
It's not long ago, it's about 2 years or something.
Because I'm always so interested to...
Maybe you have a mid-range length cable like this?
I only have the long ones, the yellow ones here.
Oh, that's
Too long, yeah.
So then I put it here on the first input. And I'd like to put the second one on the input of the synth.
Okay.
Like so. Okay. It's somehow a mess.
Should we get the cable maybe underneath? This.
I have long edges. Input.
So this pedal has 5 different inputs, or?
No, it's like a pedal board.
Yeah.
You have 5 pedals.
Okay.
And you can switch a complete board with that switch. Board 10. This is the one I previously built.
Okay.
Then you can hear you are on play now, and you go to edit, and then you see which one is lightning. You click on the one you want to edit. It's the vibe.
Yeah.
If you want to change it, something different, you can put it here and then
Okay, press.
press.
Yeah.
And you can now set it up, like the presets you want for that one. Or you have here some kind of other presets you can select directly, which other people made. You also can load your own into this.
Okay.
Then you can rearrange it like
Mhm.
so. And then if you're done, you go back to play.
So you can have 5 effects at the same time with only this rack.
Yeah, and you can use the same twice or 3 times. So if I switch board to another one, I think this one shows it. You have 2 types of chorus, or you can have 2 types of reverb, or
Okay.
2 delays behind each other. And that's the point of this. And you can switch very fast, and you can edit very fast.
Without any effort.
I want it more like this.
Okay.
And play again. Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And the TC Electronic pedals, generally the delay and the reverb has a function called mesh. If you put on it, then it activates and it holds the one effect it has for amount of time and just plays that and loops it like so. And you can make different crazy stuff with it.
Okay, so basically getting it into a spiral kind of.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen on controllers there's this spiral effect, which also works a little bit like a looping thing.
Okay, now I want to go from this one to the second input of that one. So I need another short cable. I try with that one. Out.
Underneath, or
No, it's too short.
it's too short. Yeah?
It's too short. I take a longer one.
Do you have another
I
one?
have a few, but they are also too long. Sense of taking space.
And how do we get it into the mixer?
Yeah, one after the other. What kind of input does the mixer has?
So,
Is it a big jack or a little jack?
as far as I'm concerned, there is an aux and there is a microphone.
Yeah, we use the aux for that.
Normally that would be this cable here. You know, that runs to the red and white.
Okay. Yeah, I have a replacement for that.
That's a change.
So that's the second stereo input. So now we have connected the guitar to the pedals and the synth to the pedals. And now we go from this pedal board.
With the change into the mic.
We go to the mixer. We can also have a dry signal from the synth to the mixer. We can switch and take a dry signal from the guitar to the mixer.
Okay.
But currently we have the dry second signal to the synth, which is unnecessary.
So the circuit tracks is a drum synthesizer, or?
It's a groove box. It has 2 synths and 4 sample, also two synth simulators, 2 external MIDI controllers, and 4 samplers
Okay, yeah.
with drums to build, or other samples, whatever you like. And it has, depending on which synth model you choose, has different types of filter options.
Okay.
And also, when you connect it to the computer with browser, you can edit what the knob does exactly, which filter does it, and so. But I'm not really into that topic, so I don't actually really know what I do when I set it up. That's something to learn.
Yeah, every time it's a new try. I feel you.
Here's my stereo output. It should go into your equipment.
I don't know if that works because I only have one change
Is it
on the mic.
stereo?
Stereo or mono?
Mic.
Mic is mono. I thought you have aux, and aux should be stereo.
Yes, but this would be these ones.
Oh. I don't have them. And the other end is this one here.
Yes.
I have it at home, but not both.
Oh,
Okay. Then there's no problem. Just put one into the mic.
okay.
So we have a mono out after a complete stereo setup. That's not ideal.
But yeah, we can use something in the program. I use it all the time. It's called a stereo splitter, and you can basically.
Yeah, but you know, there are some stereo effects which make
Yeah.
some kind of ping pong effect and things, and you don't get it.
Yeah, I understand.
It's lost.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to put on mic, and then mic on.
And this is stereo? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, it's stereo. 1, 2, 3 connections.
The thing is, it seems to be broken also. That means I get only one signal on one side. And that means I need to use the stereo splitter all the time to make it stereo.
This one would not fit anywhere. It's stereo out, stereo in.
Okay, let me think. No, I don't think I have any way.
Okay, then I use it for this one. Headphone out.
Now I need to get a USB stick so that we can record also. So now we have the audio from the mixer on the USB stick, and I need to test it. It will probably also be mono, which is a bummer because now we can't see the full potential of the plethora X5.
So there we have our output somewhere.
So this is a stereo change caliber.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning, you know.
It's goes to this one here. So now the guitar goes only out here, and we don't have another cable, so I think we leave it like that.
In a second.
You have to take care about the power cables.
I hope I got that right now.
Okay,
But we have it set up now.
we have a lot of setup done now.
Okay.
We have 2 channels in, one for guitar and one for a synthesizer.
Okay.
There you have the volume.
So for each.
It would be possible to put a phone here on as well.
Okay.
There you have its on, and here's the main out. If there's some overload, then you
Okay.
have to put something down.
Yeah.
We just do that off low so it won't make any noise. And that is beautiful.
So what do you think? Why is this so handy, this mixer? Why did you choose it?
It's stereo completely. You have 5 channels.
Yeah.
It was on Willhaben. And it was cheap.
Yeah, the price is good.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I was searching for a small mixer to take away,
Yeah.
and there was none, all like big things for 2 channels or something. And then one day, 5 channels, all stereo, small box, good quality, I think, from this company,
Okay, yeah.
which I a little researched, but not too much. And yeah, that's it. We can test if you have some sound.
Oh, we do have some sound. Alright.
I'm also about this time. And then I have the mixer here. Oh, I need to remember. Here. There I have the volumes for the single instruments.
Okay, gotcha. So you can have different.
And you see the color? If it's bright, then it's full volume, and if it's
Okay, so it dims.
it dims, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's try it again to see it on the camera. Yeah.
Okay, so I just put on all the drums These two we don't use because it's like an extra mixing console for 2 inputs.
Okay.
The thing is this: you have here 2 MIDI controllers, and you have 2 MIDI outs, and you can control external synthesizers with it.
Okay.
And then you have the output of the external synthesizer and re-input it into this mixer, and you can then volume it, and there are some FX also inbuilt which you can use. So that's how it's built, but we don't use that part today.
Okay, so you can go out of it and into it back and basically have it routed with those knobs and with the effects of this of the circuit.
Exactly. And if the MIDI mapping for these devices is correctly, you also can use the knobs for filtering, which they would have. So there's some profiles for Novation. This one is the company called Novation. There are some profiles for Novation instruments, but not a lot about other instruments. You have to figure out yourself. But on the Behringer, the Pharaoh, the one I got, it worked.
Okay.
Most of the knobs out of the box. So that's kind of okay-ish.
We have some signal.
Just turn off all the effects. So we should have a sound here somewhere. I don't remember how it worked. Okay, this one works.
Amazing.
So is this.
This is great.
And then you can press. You see a pattern here.
Yeah, yeah.
And okay, it's very loud now.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
There's also a gain here. You can use the gain for some extra distortions, for example, but I think it's not necessary on this part.
For extra distortion, the gain.
I leave it on 5, everything,
Okay.
and this one in the middle. Oh.
So you have enough wiggle room.
Yeah, I can put up and down, and now you can make your. Okay, then we stop and make something new.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Also put it in the middle.
Okay, I just made a few projects somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe this one. Let's see.
Oh, this is cool. Do you want to try play guitar to that? It's interesting. I mean, you know, it's not something you normally hear with guitar music.
Yeah, I can do that, but I like to hear something about. You can also play around and play with on it. So
Okay.
take the second synth.
Yeah.
You can also switch the octave audio.
Okay, yeah.
Ah. Just play around as usual. Just. I think we built this together, as we said, with my table.
Okay, yeah.
Just so I wanna save them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's super nice. It's a little quirky and I like quirky music. But this one does nothing right now. I cannot change it up.
No, this is a sequencer. So if you have a note,
Yeah.
you want to play it here.
Okay.
Now it gets played.
Okay, gotcha. So. Okay, I understand. Yeah, yeah.
And you will also see which note is played then.
And when you do this again, can you
Yeah,
turn it
You
also?
can-
just put the same note.
Ah, sit, okay.
Like that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's fine. And on on the presets button you can select other synthesizer for this slot. Then it plays other stuff.
Yeah, gotcha.
But now it's quirky and you like it.
And speeds? The
Tempo is,
Tempo, yeah.
I think,
swing, okay.
so you can,
Oh, okay, wow.
and you can make it swing somehow.
Then it kind of rolls.
Yeah.
When I was starting to make music, I had the MPC, and I remember this was the crazy feature the MPC had at the time. No, it wasn't the MPC, it was the machine actually. So the rebuild of the MPC.
Yeah, this one has two swing functions. If it's above 50, it's different, and it's below 50, it's a different kind of swing then.
Okay, yeah. I tried to get the thing because I have it here. So this is what I started producing with. And it also has the swing button here. And this one also has a swing button. So, bummer, this doesn't work anymore. Also a nice MIDI controller.
I see this one around about 190 or something.
Yes, yeah. It's not bad actually.
Okay, I want to start something new because I have... okay, I try to play with it.
Yeah.
But first, let's try out some kind of delay.
Okay.
Just check it here. The red cable goes on here. We'll leave this as the main input. So now I want to have more of the
So this is the new guitar. It looks absolutely fantastic with you.
So I have no sound from that one.
Okay.
This one has no extra volume. And it worked the last time, and when I put this cable out it will start working, I think.
Okay. Should I help you?
Here. It takes that one as main. That's okay. So now we have the delay.
Oh wow! Yeah, this is awesome.
And now we have a second kind of delay. And an extra verb, maybe. And then we can loop it. Maybe.
Okay.
Or we can edit the pedal. We switch to the loop and choose another looper. Maybe yesterday I had another looper here.
Okay.
This one here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Woohoo!
And that's it. We can turn direction, delete.
Oh wow. So
And then we go back to drive. And maybe we have also effects here.
Okay.
I never used them before. There's some compressing sidechain.
Okay. Wow. So the circuit tracks also has a sidechain compression.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has two FX for reverb and delay, but I don't know how to use them
Okay. Something.
because I never tried it before.
Yeah. Something to figure out.
There's a shift, and there it is. You can select which channel should get the delay. You can choose both.
This is a techno machine actually.
Yeah, it's really versatile. You can make it a center of lots of things, and you don't need a big keyboard with you, so it's good for street music. You can also save projects like your backing tracks you like to play with, and then play one of the other and have a backing track for everything you play.
Okay.
So it's also possible, and I think sometimes when I have enough time to get it, I will do some backing tracks also for street music.
Yeah. So you make them at home and then use them as.
Yeah, I take it with me and make it on the fly.
That's cool. Yeah.
Because I have another thing going on here. I just paused this one. On this one, is this viewable on the camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be viewable. Oh, it fell out. Wait, I
Yeah.
have to change the accu. So what was it again? So we were talking about.
I think we can't have the sound of the guitar on the mixer.
Okay.
So what's missing is that the stereo input of this doesn't take two separate signals, because we have put it on here.
Okay.
So what I change now,
Yeah.
there on your head, is I put it on the input here. So that's a big cable.
Should we maybe place this a little bit more to the side?
Yeah. I think we don't need a mixer
Okay.
right now, and put it down like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
That
Doesn't
was-
matter.
This was my break.
Oh, that's okay. That does matter. So it's a little bit like a tape.
So do we have the signal now? Okay, it's there. And now I go to the mixer here, and there I have my input 1, and I turn it louder. Max. Okay, and then I choose here a different amp. Okay.
Amazing.
Then we have here like a drum machine also, and the looper. I just select the last one. I need a few tries to get it right.
Yeah.
Maybe you can put on the knob.
3, 2, 1.
Just delete it.
Yeah. You're crushing it with the pitch bend.
And it's only this. It was only this device, and now I want to bring this one in as well, so I don't need to use the drum track there. And also the looper here is also always connected with the drums. So if you start the looper, it starts the drums. You can turn the volume of the drums, but then you don't know the tempo. And it's using always the tempo and then cuts it. So it's easy to use if you use the drums, because if you press too late or something, it cuts on the right point. But if you don't want to loop with drums, it's not usable at all.
Okay.
So I want to use like this looper here, and to use it with this stuff and then play on the guitar with it. So to replace the drums of that one with a little backing and bass.
Yeah.
And then play along with it. So that was the kind. And I was thinking about something in E major. I'm still training it.
So it's good.
And now I want to make some kind of new project here. Switch to something empty.
So you go to projects.
So this one is filled up and this one is empty. There's also another section called packs where you can load the different synth models into it and the samples and stuff. And I hope it's the right one selected because it's a bit of a mess and you can't really see it with this without a display. So okay, so this must be an empty project. So I go to drum. There's nothing. Okay, this a bit of just
volume down.
Volume down. This one, this one, this one, this one, and then back to the drum.
Nice. Is there a click also on this Gerät, on this gadget?
Maybe. But what I like to try is, and you can just try to play along with it.
Okay.
And make some drums with your fingers without a sequencer, and then later when you got the sequence on your fingers, then we try to program it.
Okay.
Yeah? And that is what you're doing now, so we can get together.
So do you want to do a click? Like
I play, I make the click.
okay. Let me see.
Also more banks if you go the arrow down.
Yes.
Other stuff.
Can I do a kick drum and a snare, for example, on?
Yeah, the bass kick drums are all on the first section, and you think I like this one or this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Take this one.
Yeah, this one.
And then
And we put it on the one, or?
So yeah. Gotcha.
put the tempo down. Try 59. Like this. And go back to the drum.
So let's go down.
I think it's better on the also it's now.
Yeah, the wrong one.
Yeah. What is the? Ah, there's something here. Oh yeah, no, it's gone.
Sorry.
Ah, it's the delay echo which
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
the rest. So
Ah.
I see.
Okay, let's go down.
Can I just delete first once?
Yeah.
Because I think just go away. There's also a clear button that I delete. Just play along with one.
Okay.
Then you see where the light is at the moment you play it, and then you program it to the light.
Okay.
See,
Picture it.
Okay.
and that's how it goes. Maybe it does not work because I am not playing along with it.
Yeah.
It's also I have to start on the one. Just I think we put on the one and
Two.
Okay.
then we can have it like a click.
Yeah, like a click. Yeah, maybe. Even.
Yeah. Now it's too fast.
Yeah, yeah. I thought so too.
Maybe we just put the half steps away.
Too slow, I
It's
think.
too fast.
Too fast? Yeah, let's slow it down a bit. Maybe what is it now? 82, 81?
83 is fine.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. It has just keep it. Yeah, it's back.
let's do a break.
So you can use kick drums here, the snares here.
Like that.
Yeah.
And another thing you have is when you look here upstairs, there's some filter
Oh yeah. Yeah.
which you can play around with.
Oh yeah, I understand.
And also there's a possibility to make some backing. No, not the mixer, just Now this is a chromatic scale.
Okay.
You can also switch to a minor or major scale.
Okay, yeah.
Do we know which one is which?
I don't, certainly.
I think this one is a major scale. Yeah. And then you can put on the E. This is the C, D, E. And now we are in E major.
Okay.
And now when you play, you can only play E major. And I play E major, and you can't go wrong with it.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's fun, huh?
Yeah.
That's ideal. And we can choose another preset. You can select whatever you like, and I built something to.
This one, huh? And this one.
And there you also can fiddle around with the mods and envelopes and all the stuff. Then you go back to notes, and there you play it. Or scale down.
So also here is the pitch, what is it called?
Pitch, yeah, pitch.
Pitch basically, yeah. The octave. Yeah.
There you are. And the blues goes like this. It's 4 bars with E major, then it's 2 bars with A major, and then it's 2 bars with E major, and then it's 1 bar B major, 1 bar A major, 1 bar E major, and then 1 bar A major and 1 bar B major, and the last bar where you can do everything. So it's like 12 bar blues. Like the song is going, but you can do something different. I don't think the bass is always playing the same with the melody or something else. Plays exactly in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Maybe
I understand what you mean.
the first key must be the E, yeah? So always end or start with the E,
Yeah.
and then you are. I think the fourth must be the A or the fifth. This is the A,
Yeah.
and this is the B. So, 1, 2, 3. This. Das B.
Okay.
A. Wieder A. Und B.
Yeah.
Das ist der Bluesrhythmus. I just did something.
Yeah?
I used this patterns section here, and now you have the synth-1 with the pattern 1 here, and I've built out 7 patterns. Which first one is E major, E major, A major, E major. Oops. And now I can show you how to connect them. There you play only the first on the next occasion.
Okay.
And if you want to connect them, you press that one. You go the button down to the next section and press to here. And now we have connected 7 of them. From first to...
So you press this one, and the one.
Yeah, I just deleted again. only play the first on the next occasion, and then I press this one, then I go button down to the second bank,
Okay.
and then I connect all the 7 patterns, and then it plays one after the other, while this one keeps playing only the first, because
Okay.
it's set on the first. If we would connect it like that to the second, it would play this 2 times, while this is playing 7 times.
Okay, I understand that.
And then there's another thing, you can, if you have set up some patterns and they go maybe about 1 minute or something, yeah, you can also use scenes.
Okay.
If I find them, I think maybe here, no. Somewhere are scenes.
Scenes, let's find it. Scales preset. Shift pattern mixer FX sidechain.
It's at the mixer section.
Okay.
Here are the scenes on the bottom side, and now we can save it as scene 1 or something. Maybe we can save. Yeah, and we go now to scene 2,
Yeah.
and everything's gone here, maybe. This setup is gone.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we go back to scene 1, hopefully we saved it, because I don't remember how to save it really. It's back there.
Okay.
It's not.
So
It did not work out, but it's not too hard. We did not change too much. We try again to save it. Maybe first save and then press. And now back. Now it's gone.
Okay. So there is a way to save the patterns. Too.
Yeah. And then you can save it as project as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't remember how it goes.
Okay.
Maybe only save. I can save. It's also gone.
Okay.
I don't know. So, but that's possibly you look in. There's a YouTube video for it with a tutorial how it works, and then you know it again how it works. Okay, and now when you go to notes on Synth-1, you can also follow what it's doing. Yeah. So now it plays the A, now it plays the B. This turnaround. Now it plays A, E.
Yeah.
Again E, and A.
E again.
E again, and now it goes to B. Then
Und wieder to E.
and then there's the turnaround.
So this is the pattern you made?
Yeah. Then I get back to the setup here. I think it's a bit weird now.
Yeah? No, but this is the interesting part. Like, how can we change the drums and this synth pattern
Yeah.
with this pedal board? That I think is what's gonna be cool.
I think this pedal board looks quite nice. We go to edit, and we don't need a noise gate because we don't have noise. But maybe I didn't use that at all. Maybe it can help us.
There must be some gate right now or something like that.
Okay, just save it. So actually, yeah, there's a gate. We edited the wrong one.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can choose something different. Like Octava is very
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, that sounds cool.
You also can choose.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's like a mix. Okay, then we go to the second one. It's a tap tremolo. We can also lower the speed.
Yeah.
It's like a long scale wave. Okay, go to the next.
There is also a nice OST. It's called Pearl filter. It does the same thing. It gives you these LFO waves. But this pedal can do it too. This is great. So you can do it.
There are different pedals that can do it.
Yeah, yeah. This is a great thing also for us doing synthesizer music.
Here you can select the scale. Okay, now we take the major, because we're on a major scale. It's 50, yeah. And now it's the third and the fifth playing on it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And we have the next one. It's a double again, we choose now something different.
Reverb.
Reverb, we don't have one. And there you can change the type of reverb you want.
Spring reverb, tile, tone print 1, tone print 2. That's good. I like it though.
Just take a look at this.
Yeah, that's nice too. Sounds like a cave. You okay?
Oh, there are even more.
Wow. Wow, yes. Can you do automations on this thing as well?
I don't know.
Okay, no, I was just wondering if you could do like...
Let's switch to the last pedal.
Yeah.
This is also reverb. Maybe we can take the lo-fi option here. So now we are playing all together. Go back to play mode. And now we are disabling one. So this is the dry signal.
Yeah. That's with the quints, yeah. That's a tremolo, yeah.
And there's this mesh button. And there's also a mesh button on here.
This is so fun.
I go back to edit. I remove that last reverb
Yeah.
and just take something else.
Maybe something very strange. Oh, delay. I always love a delay.
Some presets.
Such a nubby atmosphere. That's awesome.
Okay, try to play with the guitar. You can fiddle around,
Yeah.
maybe change some notes or whatever. Yeah?
Okay.
Feel free and fiddle. Just switch the sounds.
kind of distortion.
Yeah, the distortion is from the guitar.
Okay, it's like a very low distortion, like it has a lot of sub.
You can go to the mixer and there's a gain knob,
Yeah.
which you can fiddle around, lower it, something. And there's also an overload display, LED,
Yeah.
and when it turns red, you have a too loud sound for the mixer. But there's a feedback. I think it's a delay or something.
Yeah.
Just turn it off.
That means that distortion actually came from this flashback do delay.
Alles außen ist die Pedals.
Should you make it a bit faster, or is it
So tempo and then
maybe 86?
91. On this setup here is also a delay and distortion going on and a lot of things there. So I take something cleaner. It's like the dry one. still want this one. I need the power here.
Nice.
Now this one has loaded, now this loads.
So it's all connected to a power bank.
No, it's to the power cord, I think.
Yes.
Oh, have we even connected? No, don't think. So that's why it's empty. I think it lays over there. Maybe.
Which one?
It's a USB.
Oh, no, it is into my computer.
Oh, okay.
Should work.
No, but maybe not with the power to really load it.
Okay.
So, because it was powered 2 hours or something, and it's
Yeah.
empty now.
Okay.
So it's not work out. You can have the power level here. It's also empty, it's not loaded.
Okay, so it doesn't work over my computer.
It does maybe help to not get completely empty, but it does not really load.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
So you need some USB charger for,
I need a power bank.
or USB charger for Handy or something,
Okay.
smartphone. Okay, I'll start over.
What you just said.
It's like an F major, but you leave the open strings on both sides. You can also make it a G, or an A, or a C, or a D.
What the dog? Really? Amazing, I love this.
It's from the one song from David Bowie. It's just a few seconds because of copyrights. And in the middle of the song is something like that.
Should make a cover actually.
Maybe.
Yes. Because I like it so, I like it this way, I like it more.
I got it from the David Bowie first played it on television in 1968 or something.
Yeah.
And there he was only him with a backing track or some band in the background which you can't see, and with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
There he plays it like that. And as 2 years later in the 1971 version with Ronson on the e-guitar,
Okay.
that's the famous version of it which everybody knows like that. And there are lots of different versions. In the 70s, I think David Bowie released this song on every LP he did
Yeah.
in a different version. So there are about 10 versions of this song in from very fast to very slow, even to some wobble, 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 synthy things like wobble. Like this, and goes on about 10 minutes.
When I grew up, my parents had the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust on vinyl.
Yeah.
And wow, I missed this.
On this LP, Ronson plays the e-guitar. It's you have to, if you don't know him, you should look on YouTube. About Ronson, the guitar man that made the sound of the Spiders from Mars. It's like some unique sound.
Yeah. I love this album so much. It inspired my whole way of making music also very much. Turn this up a bit. Wow. I love it.
There's a certain Beatles song, I think it's called Hide Your Love Away, maybe.
Yeah.
And there's the refrain, maybe I can only play that one. How does it go? I have to play it through to get it.
Okay.
Maybe it's still copyright.
I think it's gonna be fine.
I have to sing with it, I can't do it without. Yeah, it's not the right...
We could turn it down, but then the guitar is also turned down, maybe like this? Yeah.